Okay, next we have Katie Haberman would like to ask the council to take action to end a public policy that is detrimental to public health.
I gave them to him.
You got it.
Good evening. I've taken the liberty of printing out the certificate of analysis from PCS, Phosphate Company, from Key Chemical, which purchases the compounds added to Raleigh's water supply. The certificate... It's okay. The certificate lists the chemicals and dosages being introduced into our public drinking water, including but not limited to fluorosilicic acid, phosphorus pentoxide, arsenic, and toxic metals like lead. I have a copy available for all of you today. Do you mind passing that around? Thank you. The three chemicals I will be focusing on today are listed on the certificate of analysis provided. Fluorosilicic acid is being pumped into our water system and is being represented as sodium fluoride. Fluorosilicic acid is classified as a toxic waste product by the EPA. Naturally occurring fluoride complexes tested in fresh drinkable water sources is 0.1 parts per million. Fluorosilicic acid being added to our drinking water is at 0.8 parts per million. That's 8 times higher than the dose of naturally occurring fluoride. Numerous recent studies and experiments have linked fluoride ingestion to brain damage, reduction of IQ in children, reduced fertility in men and women, damage to the central nervous system, fluorosis of the teeth and skeletal structure, thyroid disease, cardiovascular disease, and certain types of cancers. The individual members of this council are in all receipt of many of these studies. The FDA now requires that all fluoride toothpaste sold in the U.S. carry a poison control warning that instructs users to contact the Poison Control Center if they swallow more than is used for brushing. Counsel, more than is recommended for brushing is easily consumed by people who are bathing in it, drinking it, eating foods laced with it, and taking prescriptions that contain it. According to the certificate of analysis, lead is being added to our drinking water under the umbrella term of fluoridation. Lead is a highly poisonous metal, regardless if inhaled or if swallowed, affecting almost every organ and system in the body. Lead poisoning typically results from ingestion of contaminated food or water. It is rapidly absorbed into the bloodstream and is believed to have adverse effects on the central nervous system, the cardiovascular system, the kidneys, and immune system. Lead can severely damage the brain and kidneys in adults and young children and ultimately can cause death. Arsenic is also added to our drinking water under the umbrella of water fluoridation. Arsenic is notoriously poisonous to multicellular life, period. Low-level exposure to arsenic at concentrations found commonly in U.S. drinking water compromises the initial immune response of viruses such as H1N1 and swine flu infections, according to the scientists from the National Institute of Environmental Health Sciences. The study conducted in laboratory mice suggests that people exposed to arsenic in drinking water may be at an increased risk for serious illness and or death to an infection from a virus.
You've reached your 3-minute limit. If you could please wrap up your comments.
Sure.
Quickly.
Understanding that I have 3 minutes to address the council, but the council has the discretion to use whatever time it requires, I look forward to having 5 brief questions answered this evening. If you will look at the back of your certificate of analysis, those questions are listed there, and for those in attendance, I'd like to voice them. Council, why is $173,000 of taxpayers' money going to these toxic waste products added to our drinking water? Why not spend $173,000 to ensure the removal of such waste products in our community? How is the council regulating the amount of fluoride the people of our community are being exposed to? Can the council speak on the decision to introduce arsenic and lead under the umbrella term of water fluoridation? If the public policy is being based on a vote from 1959, a time from which the electorate is largely deceased, should the citizen of 2012 have the ability to decide if they want these toxic compounds added at their expense based on science from this century? In light of the overwhelming evidence of harm from these toxins, how does each member of the council justify the addition of these toxins to our children's water, all in an effort to prevent tooth decay?
Okay. Thank you very much.